Hello and welcome to Lord Lucan. In today's episode, we take a look at the one they call Big Ed from shows such as 90 Day Fiancé. We have a little read of his reviews as a photographer. We take a look at his businesses. We decide whether he's a lover or a fighter. And we rate his photography with a real-life photographer. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone who has subscribed to my channel. The recent response has had my little mind blowing. And I really can't thank you enough. I put a little poll out on my community tab to see what other shows people would like me to cover, in between other shows on similarly train-wrecky TV. The most voted for was 90 Day Fiancé. Now you can't do a video on 90 Day Fiancé without mentioning a man they call Big Ed. And whilst there are a bunch of videos already covering his antics, I'm pretty sure I've got a new angle for me to be spilling the tea over. So then, lock up your daughters, strap yourself in, brace yourself, we're going in. Now, Big Ed is arguably one of the best known and most reviewed reality stars of recent times. If you don't know who he is,
I don't know who you are.
Then here's a super duper fast synopsis. He's a womanizing, gaslighting little man from San Diego. He had appeared on the show called 90 Day Fiancé, where he tried to get engaged to several women in the shortest time possible, while all the time offending, getting caught out, overreacting, crying, and getting called out.
That's weird to me.
Yeah, that's really sad.
The list goes on, and then there's Liz. But that's a whole other series of episodes right there.
Go live your single life.
Big Ed, or Edward Allen Brown, was born in 1965, the same year that Canada changed its flags. There was shooting down of a UFO. Ooh, bit topical. And England's motorways got a speed limit. And a couple of years later, he was awarded with this little beauty for good oral. First and last time for that, I'm thinking. So, Big Ed got himself a lovely wife by the name of Sandra, or Sandy, and the two had a baby called Tiffany. Nothing to do with Montana Mills' Tiffany. Though wouldn't that be a crazy coincidence? But what is a coincidence is how much Sandy and his newest love, Liz, look similar. But Ed decided to cheat on the love of his life, and so his fate started down its current path. Ed then went to study architecture and design, ultimately ended up with his own little photography business called E.A. Brown Photography. And here's his studio. And here's his website, but that doesn't exist anymore, so we're off to the next place you can find him. Good old Yelp. Hang on a second. It gives the ability to add pictures to his header. Well, can you guess what I did next? Have you ever seen that image of what a person would need to look like if they were to survive a car crash? Well, here it is. His name's Graham, and I think he bears a surprising resemblance to someone. Let's add it to Ed's site and give it a lovely little caption. What a guy! Big Ed was a creative and talented photographer. Highly recommended. Love from Lord Lucan. Ah, damn it. I need to register. Here we are then. Brian Badonde again. Lovely job. Now we can see our gorgeous post on his site. Hang on a second. There's room for one more. There we are. Much better. I even gave it the caption, hang on a second. Now we've improved the appearance of the page. Let's actually see what it says. It begins with a delightful little description of the man himself. Established in 2001, I was in a graduate program in architecture in 1993, and I began taking pictures with my daughter, who was 3 at the time, and never put my camera down. Meet the business owner. Look, Edward A. There he is, creepily hiding behind some bushes. He's got a BA in interior design from the Design Institute in San Diego, and an MA in architecture from the New School of Architecture in San Diego. And then some weddings. I'm not really sure why they're there. Presumably that sort of qualification, is it? God knows. So, before we take a look at the super amazing photography Ed produces, let's take a look at the reviews he's getting from his customers. Well, he's got a 2.5-star overall rating with 22 reviews. Let's have a look. Annoying, self-centered narcissist. Flirtatious, wouldn't use him again. Certainly not for women. Ed Brown is not the person you should hire to take pictures. Is extremely unprofessional, will be inappropriate with you if you're a lady in her 20s. Take your business elsewhere to someone that deserves it and respects their client and not looks at them like an opportunity for a date. His photography is mediocre. He does not understand lighting and the photos can speak for themselves. It's tacky and unprofessional looking. This little guy does photography to lure women into his studio. He tells women to bear it all for artistic purposes. Completely unprofessional and creepy. Steer clear of this groomer photographer, please. Ed is awfully horrible as a person, and his attitude sucks towards anything that doesn't fit into what he wants. You do not matter. Only him. Big Ed? Sure thing, little Ed. Terrible customer service. Dude is world's biggest narcissist. He has a tattoo of his own face on his body, and his shower curtain is also a blown-up image of his face. Yikes. And his interaction with women are very suspect. Allegations of date have been thrown around. The owner of this establishment, a little person named Ed, is rude and takes blurry pictures. He made my 21-year-old daughter uncomfortable with his leering and uncalled-for compliments. Go somewhere else. Okay then, not the most shining reviews I've ever read. Ooh, look, 27 reviews that are not recommended. Yes, please. This guy, Big Ed, is a child molester. Oh dear, better not do that one, that's a bit dodgy. But he spent the entire session trying to get me to go out for the drink with him afterwards. Don't feel sorry for the fat little fucker because of his physical impairment. He still has one very overinflated ego. He's sick in the head and even suggested I should try and take off my top for a more natural look. Stop abusing Liz, you asshole. You're a horrible photographer and they're all blurry and you are weak. Ed Brown is a piece of shit. Search him up on YouTube. He's disgusting and doesn't deserve to work around women. And he has a huge, terrible ego. The owner of this company is a narcissistic, gaslighting sleazeworm. Oh, look, here's a nice one. By far the best photographer I have ever worked with. Edward has photographed our family events for the past 6 years. His eye for detail and how he makes people feel so comfortable, and my children just love him. I'm over the moon with his work and cannot wait for Edward to do our next family photo shoot at Balboa Park in June. We love you, Big Ed. Hang on a second. Did he review himself? Yes, he bloody well did. I think he was supposed to log in with a different account first. Whoops. So, let's have a look at his photography. If only we had a professional photographer to guide us. Someone with years of experience. Perhaps someone who is a licentiate of the Master Photographers Association. Hold on a second. We do. Me. Yes, indeedy. I too have a past in the photography industry, running my own company, and also dealing with people like Ed, who own a camera and think they can get ladies by waving it around and getting them to take their clothes off. Okay, so, easy one for starters. Tells me he can't pose for shit. This makes no sense unless it's a hair shot for a local hairdresser's. Even then, awful hand position and zero knowledge of how hands work in pictures. Fingers lead the eye, fists stop the eye. And the second shot is just a blatant down her top shot. Okay, easy standing shot, but totally wrong. You'd never ever shoot a woman from above the waist as it shortens her legs, and you crop the picture when the legs intersect, creating a triangle. Otherwise you get this weirdness with the back leg. Tilt the head in the opposite direction, or you get no dynamics with the shoulders and hips. Is she sitting on the floor, or does she just have no legs? What a stupid pose. We used to call this a something and nothing shot, where it looks like it could be okay, but there's nothing special or creative about it. Just add a toilet. There we go. Just total excuses to get a girl to open her legs. Lends nothing to the pose, not arty at all, just plain pervy. And what the hell's going on here? Look at that leg. Are people actually paying for this amateur shit? He even got a front cover with Fine magazine. How? The background looks like it's something from a Russian estate, and the model is probably being held onto by the other one so she doesn't fall off. And what's going on with the legs again? Clearly he's not a leg man. Ed says that he understands lifting better than anyone. Really? Most things are overexposed in more ways than one. And he does say that his work speaks for itself. Well, yes, it certainly does, but it should shut the hell up and stop talking bullshit. Anyway, aside from taking pictures, Ed's been selling himself as a brand and been trying out other revenue streams which have included Big Ed's Fart Jar. But that also does seem to be some sort of pseudo self-trolling, and even had a stab at being a Twitch streamer.
Press F one time.
Okay, hold on.
And now press W to climb up the ladder.
There we go. Okay,
All
can
right.
I please drive the ship?
No, absolutely not.
Please,
All right.
I won't fall asleep, I promise.
Bless him, his guide isn't even letting him drive the ship. Imagine how incompetent you have to be not allowed to drive a virtual ship. Little Eddie has also been flirting with the boxing world and has been dazzling some canvas with his moves. He's also been pretty active on his Instagram, where he's been impressing the women.
I love Korean women. I love Asian women.
Now, this picture doesn't really fit into the structure of the video very well, but I do love the comment. Anyway, let's veer this little show towards some sort of conclusion, where, typically, I try to make some sort of balanced overview. But I'm finding it hard to drag out the positives. Ed is a victim of his own refusal to give up. And if there's one thing that I've learnt, is that there's a time when a man has everything he wants, and either he realises it and gives up his bachelor ways, or destroys the one thing that gave him true pleasure, love and family values. It's totally fine to remain a man-child and avoid adulting, but real wisdom is knowing how to balance that with performing as a real man and a real father. Otherwise, you just start bouncing from place to place, looking for the thing that you gave up on years before, and you were just too stupid to realize what you had when you had it. That's it for today's video. It's been good to see you. Stay beautiful. Love to my three. You take care of yourself.